Here we are. Back again. Let's see, I have to do this usual authorization. They don't like my slide on this. So. Here we go. Enable content. Lovely. So now we have social media. As we know, most of us is using social media intensively. On lunchtime, we were enjoying some browsing and some views on some of the social media we're using. And also the people having ideas on how to infringe the trademarks online, of course, very attentive to this kind of environment. So let's study a little bit the environment of the social media under the perspective of the threats and, of course, opportunities that social media can bring to a trademark owner. We have in mind the person dealing with trademark registration in a company. We have in mind a large corporation that have a presence for us, internet users. The perspective of this presentation will be therefore to provide practical advice to some of your clients who may be interested as well in using social media for business purposes. So what the social media is for companies. Basically, can increase the brand awareness. Basically, can have all of us remember a trademark much more easily and interact in a let's say, active fashion with the brand itself. It can achieve marketing objectives like product sales through very inexpensive advertising tools. You get self-replicating videos, you get something getting viral, a message, even a picture can be sufficient, and will basically enhance the knowledge of your product amongst the consumer much more effectively and easily than a large campaign on a major TV, which costs a lot of money, would do. So it's a very important tool for companies. Enhance consumer loyalty through interaction. Social media are basically there to let you interact with your brand. You're passionate about a brand, you go to the official page, you post messages, you expect to get feedback from them. So it's very useful to enhance consumer loyalty. It allows targeted advertising. Let's not forget, it's probably the most powerful tool in a marketing environment, which was not there some years ago, because it can really profile each and every one of us by the information that we voluntarily share in the platform. We see Facebook and the other social media as our personal use, as our activity, as our way to exchange information with friends. But let's not forget that behind this information, the company managing Facebook and the other social media do get a lot of information from us that we actually voluntarily share with them. So let's bear this in mind when we post pictures, when we say something online, because all the information that are actually used, not necessarily maliciously, but used to profile us. So in this way, you can advertise local activities. If I know that some of us is fond of Gucci brands or Hermes ties, I can send information that tomorrow is going to be a show happening in Cairo or on October 8th, Hilton Hotel, to half of this class. And there you go. You get it there home. This is something I like. So this is very important for marketing. To some extent, you can as well, if you're a marketeer, there was a guy in charge of marketing of here, it's not here anymore, but basically you can even pull products, pull information, pull feedback from the people following your page. So this is very important as well for you to develop. And last but not least, of course, you pull people to your official presence, to your website, where you advertise the product, where you sell your products. And you can as well give brand personality, which is let's say a powerful way to say enhance the characterization of your brand online. But of course, all this is a beautiful aspect, something even dangerous for us, because we share a lot of information. But on the other hand, we have a lot of threats ongoing on social media for companies, trademark owners. Which are those? One is over there. which kind of threats do you perceive? Spam, to some extent, but social media can be very useful for copyright infringement. Think about all the images that we share on Instagram, for instance. So basically, misappropriation of copyright content or unauthorized posting of copyrighted material. But what else can be infringed easily on social media? It's easy. We discussed about that this morning. Phishing? Trademarks! Trademarks, indeed. Trademarks. It's not easy to infringe trademarks of that. Because you can do you know what a username is? You have www.facebook.com, for instance, / and then you've got a username. And basically, as much as a domain name identical or confusingly similar is able to trick us, internet user, into believing that this website is corresponding to the trademark owner, the username in social media is apt to trick all of us as a page connected to username containing a brand, for instance, facebook.com/Gucci is the actual official page of Gucci. So if I want to have information about Gucci, I can go to the username Gucci. And that's important because, of course, you have a plethora of pages. You have millions of pages there. How can you really recognize which is right and which is wrong? Which is the original one and which is fake? Well, the username tells you a lot. So watch out for the username. And sure enough, very much is infringed. You can infringe the use by third parties, basically pretending to be you, to be Ferrari, which is some examples in a minute. And this is actually a good way to infringe trademarks on social media. You can dilute as well the IP rights, having again a large number of fake pages, or even only fan pages. It's not always necessarily bad, which is going on Facebook. But if you are a trademark owner and you authorize millions of fan pages, go be there. Some of your real fan may end up in a fan page, which was done often enough better than the official pages, off the records comment. But it happens that some fans are so passionate about the brand they develop an official Facebook page, which is even better than the original one. Tell you a long story that ended up not in a positive way, but the official presence of Ferrari on Facebook was established by a father and a son. There was a sister. The family. And they developed the page, and sure enough, they ended up to have a page which was even better than the people from the marketing Ferrari was having. So they ended up to having to face this issue of millions of fans already present on a page which is not the official one. So watch out to dilute your IP rights by having too many people dealing with your official page. So you should be able to focus them on the official page, where you want your customers to be. Improper use of trademarks by distributors. You can have distributor channels, and every one of them, they have their own page. But then, again, you create confusion among your clients, the people you want to inform about your products in the best possible way. Other threats to companies are the following. Connection to brands with different illicit activities, a loss of revenues due to traffic diversion, unauthorized association by third parties, exposure to company legal liability. Think about pharmaceuticals. You advertise a pharmaceutical product that you cannot sell in a given country, or it's not even legal in some countries, I understand. What kind of liability you will have as a company then? Identity theft. Senior management. Actually, my first approach to Facebook was in 2008, when I received a phone call from the marketing people of Ferrari telling, well, there is a guy who is pretending to be the president of Ferrari, telling a lot of stuff about Ferrari, but it's not him. It's not Luca Cordero di Montezemolo. There was a crazy person who was pretending to be the president of Ferrari, created a fantastic Facebook page, and dispatching advice to people as the president. And that was actually an identity theft, so to speak, which is very common on CEO of companies. It often happens. So it's an interesting tool.
And does Facebook handle this only through a reporting system, or how does it handle? Of course, if it's an identity, I think it would be through a reporting system. Yeah. But what if it's a well-known brand or other? It's still.
By chance, I did some slides on this, so I'm going to address the issue in general, but it's actually, they have different approach, different social media have different approaches, all of them as a social policy, which will allow you to take the pages down. Of course, you have to enforce your trademarks, but we'll see them in a minute. So the answer is yes, you can do it, and a different level of efficiency. Malware, goes by the social media. Again, the level of attention is low, so therefore you may end up in authorizing or clicking links that will basically download them on your computer. Talking about social media, so we were in the meantime checking about your pages and see where you were, and knowing you were coming in. So now we are dealing with the social media issues and infringement of trademarks on social media. So let's say, what can you do if you're a trademark attorney advising a company on how to be present on social media, or if you are in charge of the page of your company on the social media? Well, focus on your governance. You have to check what's there. You have to make sure that the internal policies adapt to what is needed to manage the platform properly. You want to have a cooperation between the legal and marketing department. It's actually probably the most challenging task for a company to manage an official presence on social media. The fact that you have to combine the skills and the needs of people like legal, well represented in this team, but as well as marketing, IT, public relations department, all together to decide how are we going to be present is really an interesting task and should be properly managed within the company. Think about a large corporation. Sadly enough, as a practical guideline, you have to allocate a resource. This can be a costly exercise, but you do have to have it. It's too important. You see, most of the advertising, you always have the reference to the social media. So we use the domain names as well to advertise the web page, but as well together you use the social media presence. So it's an evolving world and there's evolving presence and marketing strategy. Prepare the content, be sure that you're careful what you're writing and what you're saying about your company there. Is your image, it's your company, reflecting on social media. All of us, many millions of people, look at the page on a daily basis. Have lawyers to draft your user's agreement. This is sound obvious, but you'll be surprised that many companies do not have user agreement which allow you any way to, for instance, exclude minors to have access to your page easily. You're below 18. You don't have access to it anymore, and data protection issues and so on and so forth. As I was mentioning before, users' names are key because they give you this presumption of reliability to the page corresponding to the username. Therefore, reserve your username corresponding to your trademark in a major social media. Link the registered usernames to active pages. It's not an official requirement, but it's seriously recommended to have an active page linked to a social media. If you have a username for a large brand not linked to an official page, you, as customer, will be surprised, you'll be disappointed by your brand. So it is now a sort of the other way around to solve the problem, but you have to have a presence there. And trust an agency, by written agreement properly to manage the content. There was a very interesting story about Sony Ericsson entrusting an agency to promote a telephone in a specific area. There was an activity ongoing in a city in Italy, and there was a guy from the agency saying, "Wow, how wonderful this new device by Sony Ericsson was." And this guy was so, I would say, not attentive of what he was doing, that he was posting a message by an iPhone. If you tell on social media by iPhone that Sony Ericsson is wonderful, was having an interesting effect. So watch out. Who are you trusting your work with promoting your official presence online? And therefore, in-house supervision is always advisable. Be ready, and for lawyers it's very difficult to think about this, but be ready to give up some of your control. Social media is a different environment. It has to be considered in a proper manner. So you cannot be over-controlling about the content. Of course, you should be monitoring, so you should be attentive of what's going on there, but be able to verify your profile and mark, if possible, a page as authorized. Now, you see this tick more and more often on official pages. This has been validated by the owner. Therefore, if you are there and you see this tick, is very likely that is the official page. What can you do? Addressing the question of your colleague in the back. So, say you have a page on the social media registered by a third party. What can you do? Ideas? Well, before reporting to the authorities, IDES, to the managers of the social media page, you may get in touch with the owner of the page. You may be a fan. And this can be a very appropriate practical tip to approach this issue, because social media can be very dangerous as well as an environment. You can do a lot of damages to your brand by thinking you do something good. For instance, telling a fan, don't do this, it's very bad for our brand. Well, I'm only a fan. Oh, you're really a bastard, though. Therefore, as a fan, I turn this message that you send me with this tone back to you, and I post it amongst my millions of fans. I'm the blogger. So watch out how you react. So first step in a good approach to tackle an issue of an infringing going on online is probably always best to write a nice email. Say, well, if you do it by a lawyer, I'm in charge of XYZ trademark. I noticed you have created this page. Well, you know, you're using trademarks of our clients, you should not do it. I know you're a fan, but please make sure you have a disclaimer or take it down or give it to us because it's identical as username is an apt to create confusion. This kind of approach. Nice tone, easy, unless of course it's a professional creator of fake pages, then you can go right away. But if you have any doubt, it's better to be on the safe side than to risk to have a boomerang effect. Right? But then all the platforms have in place forms, online forms, to report the different kind of infringement. So you can write a user form for copyright infringement, for trademark infringement, for identity theft. They have different ways of reporting, and this is appropriate to do in order to obtain the suspension of the page or even a cancellation of it. So each and every platform, and we'll see them in details, and I'll provide you the data if you're interested in on how to report the different infringement. But having done the first step, collect contact with the page creator. In absence of a reply, or in case of a negative reply, you can always go back and use this form. And actually, do not write email to the people of Facebook or the other platforms unless you've done it the complaint before. They usually ask you, please use the form and then get in touch with us. Obviously, if you need to escalate and you have good friends working in Palo Alto, you can do it, but usually a good way to approach this kind of issues is always to approach via the official platform. Last but not least, if you have a problem on social media, consider legal action. But this is really should be the last resource, should be the last thing you do. And if you're really desperate and you get any reply from anyone and something bad is going on that page, and it has thousands, if not millions of likes. Otherwise, legal action on social media can be very dangerous. So the message I want you to remember on this one is always very important to carefully evaluate the extent of the damage. It can be really a terrible page. Say terrible things about your brand, but if seen by 5 people, don't care. Or monitor it, check it. Don't overreact. Don't send this bad tone voice message, because then it can really fire back to you. Get fired in a minute, and then fires back at this boomerang effect on your page, on your presence, which can be much worse than the actual damage. So think twice, if not 3 times, if you're acting for a client in this kind of environment. It's very dangerous, very powerful, and very dangerous. Let's go now in details in the minutes we have available to see how can we tackle the issues in the different platforms. Facebook. We've seen already everyone is there. This is, of course, a sign-in page. What can you do with Facebook? Well, this is an overview taken from our experience. We can say they are really very responsive, and both to trademarks and copyright complaints. So if you have an issue with Facebook, they tend to be rather effective, reply to you. Of course, we have established links with management, and it's easier sometimes, but in general, if we balance our experience in different platforms, Facebook is certainly amongst the best one to do it. Make sure you report, including report the exact link of the content you want to be removed. You may not say a general claim, because I, of course, come back to you, so which one of this medium page you want us to pick up. have the exact link always there, ready. Basically, the replies in between 1 and 3 days, in our experience, so it's very good and effective. Usually, they are allowed to withdraw IP complaints and restore if you basically realize that, for instance, was a distributor authorized and there was an agreement, you can have the same page coming back, but if the distributor then infringes the agreement of distribution, then you can take it down again. So basically, they're allowed to sort of get pages back and forth online. And Facebook basically allow, again, the creation of pages automatic to specific location. And so you have to be careful that those are not created by a third party, but automatically created by the system. And it's a bit more difficult to take those down. Think about the page with Wikipedia, for instance. Basically, again, Facebook allows to verify a profile to mark if it is authorized with the same kind of sign over there. Therefore, if you see this kind of sign on a page, it's very likely that it was authorized by the trademark holder. How can you report an infringement? This is the link. And you can have access to this kind of page. And you can pick and choose which kind of infringement you have to report. And then you have this kind of pages, for instance, take down. They were not even launching. It was launched since 36 hours, the Berlinetta Ferrari. And there was originally already this page, which was looking like a perfect legitimate page, but was not at all connected to Ferrari. Likewise, the Diego Della Valle, I was talking about the impersonation. Diego Della Valle is the owner of the Della Valle Group, which is owning the Hogan trademarks, Faye trademarks, Todd's shoes. And this guy is as well going into politics, so he's very active, and he's the president of the Fiorentina Calcio, won a soccer game. So we actually handle the monitoring of the presence online. And it happens all the times that we have fake pages like this, with people pretending using his face, saying he's Diego Della Valle, but not at all connected to him. Another interesting case connected to Berlinetta Ferrari was basically the reply. Again, Italian, we have a certain relationship with this company, so we have Julia answering to us and basically telling us the web page that we've seen before was taken down. So it's not up anymore. Ferrari Club, you have as well fan pages like this one, which can be somehow fine to some extent in the way you can somehow control them, but as I mentioned before, allowing the excessive spread of this kind of pages can be damaging on your reputation online. Therefore, you have groups as well, like this one, not connected to, or you have fake official page, Gucci Italy. Doesn't it look official? 51,000 plus likes. Trademark, backer logo, that's it. Not connected at all. And it was having 51,000 likes in about 5 days. Give you an idea of the problem. Of course, this is then linked to a fake page, selling counterfeit goods, pretending to be the official page. That's another way to use the social media presence. A channel to a fake official web page. A fake official Facebook page linked to a fake official web page. Fantastic. But you see they do millions of dollars of turnover by doing this. Likewise for Bottega Veneta. Anyone familiar with Bottega Veneta? There's a relatively less famous, same group as Gucci though. They do fantastic leather goods. I visited their factory some weeks ago and it was amazing. And I never seen a bag costing 70,000 euros, which is about 700,000 pounds. But it was it. It was crocodile, fantastic image. Retail price 70,000. Okay, you can get a nice car, a nice Mercedes with that one, or Audi, but still, this is the kind of progress they do. And it's very nice. Yeah, absolutely. Or nice Audi as well, a BMW or whatever, even a Ferrari, small one, but not Ferrari. You can do it, unfortunately. Maybe a basic model of Maserati, not maybe perhaps, but still a lot of money. This is the kind of company, and you see in Nepal, where you don't expect to have an official presence, they were creating it as an official page. We got at the beginning, it was only 600 likes, but we took it down. Another page of Ferrero, Tic Tac. Do you have Tic Tac here? Yes. That looks like the official page, doesn't it? It was the very beginning. So this is pretty much what was happening on social media. And this is how you report an infringement according to the official. And they do reply. Leonardo, which was an Italian sounding name, thank you for bringing this back to our attention. We remove disabled access. If you make a new report, you can submit a new claim act. So it works, but it has to be monitored. Likewise, Lutelleria, Kinder Joy, this is one of the best ones. Is this an abuse? Tarnishing? Well, the brand is Kinder Joy. Kinder Joy, it's a good idea. So this is a kind of an example of the kind of people you have online taking care of this kind of thing. Not many likes, but not really a good image you have to leave online. Twitter. Yes.
Is it a coincidence that all the contact persons on Facebook are Italian names?
Well, Italians are in a large fantasy, and those are basically Italian brands, so it's more likely. But I'm sure that those are examples taken from my practice, and I'm sure I would have found probably something like for some of the Egyptian clients of Egypt as well. But still, Italians are good in counterfeiting goods and active and brilliant people. I'm sure therefore they're active as well. Twitter. Who is using Twitter? Sabahat. 3. So less people than Facebook. 4, 5. So it's less popular than Facebook, isn't it? Why is that? It's effective. Short messaging. You can do tell the world what you're doing. I'm not using it much myself because I had to take a decision not to be too much active. As I'm acting a lot against infringing, I have to stay away from it. Otherwise, I would use my page. I try to steal my username and access every week. So, I mean, it's just a low-level person. But Twitter is good to use. So, well, this is actually a way to get in touch with friends. Short message to let you know what we're doing. Actually, he's tweeting already what I'm doing today, what I'm saying. Breaking all the... I know. That's a bit dangerous, but it's part of the way we're doing. Sorry, yes?
I said that Facebook handles this issue by, it's an issue of infringing by verifying the profile of our page. You will see a blue logo in the profile picture that says that the page is profile and will say authentic to the owner.
Yeah, that's the verified tag. Yeah, which is a good tool to show that it is official.
But not all users know this issue. That this is the verification and it must go in the right direction to the authenticated one.
Yeah, they should take courses like this one.
Yeah.
They should do it more often. But it's true. A lot of the problems connected to the use of social media is the lack of knowledge of the traits and characteristics of this tool. But anyway, Twitter is there. Usually it's a bit more complicated to take down approaches on Twitter. And I have to make a disclosure now because we were working so hard against them or with them to take down pages that they decided to entrust the work for Italy in our firm. So we acquired Twitter as a client. So as a disclaimer that you should know, but even that having in mind, I have to say that they're a bit less prone to take down pages. Let's say they are more in favor of free speech. It's a tool that everyone is using. It was used even in different kind of occasions to spread out news. So it's been more complicated to take down pages on Twitter. Like in other social media, it's very important, and I'd like you to remember this, to create a page. When you take down a page, when you reclaim a page on Twitter, you have always to create your own one in order for you to transfer to the right page with the right holder, the people, for instance, of marketing of your company in charge of it, dealing with the page. Because if you do the activity to reclaim it, and then you don't have a page where to transfer the unofficial page to an official page that you manage, or presence you manage, so bear in mind that you have to have someone to create a presence to transfer the infringing one to yours once the infringing process is ongoing, because it takes longer to get them to answer to you, or once they answer, they want you to be already having a presence where they can simply transfer the funds and the page into your management solution. So, important trick to create your own page. Following the filing of a complaint, additional domain documents can be now filed online, which is very good. Before you had to send faxes to Twitter, California. Now they at last allow the platform to log the power of attorney. It's an old system, they simply need to know that you're really acting on behalf of Ferrari or Ferrero, so they ask us to provide them the power of attorney. Another good practical tip, if you're acting for a client on social media environment, make sure you get the power of attorney, because they, sure enough, they, meaning the people managing the platform, will ask you to produce it, in order to prove that you're actually entitled to trust and to act on behalf of the company. But now you can do it online. There's no name policy, first come, first served. So again, the correspondent to username is somehow there, as the @ sign is very collated. So make sure you try to register it as soon as you can. And basically, if your profile was inactive for 6 months, according to their policy, it's possible to transfer. It's not really an automatic thing, but something you can use to ground your claims on Twitter environment are based on the fact that the profile was inactive for a number of months. So it's very important to do the monitoring in place, that we'll see it tomorrow morning, and to check the time when the platform was used the last time. You typically say post that. If you can claim that at least it's not used for at least 6 months, they're a bit more prone to transfer the profile to you. Report infringement is easy. Again, you have a form online I mentioned before. You can have trademark issues. You can have copyright issues according to the Internet Millennium Copyright Act. And you have Twitter pages like this one, which are unrelated to Ferrari, and even so kind to tell, so gentle to say us, is unofficial. Yet, you don't want them there, or username reassigned, and of course Scuderia Ferrari is of interest, and you get a transfer then from this page to the official one. Or Nutella. Who is a fan of Nutella here? Everyone. So this is a page that you could have had, and you had actually, on Twitter for Nutella, and it was really looking like the one, wasn't it? I mean, you see Nutella everywhere, must be the official page. It wasn't. Odour El Shari was registered by an Australian guy. Purina, which is the official page of Patrick. So are you using Purina for your dogs? No, okay, no, they should. That's our plan. It's a bit of advertising there, so sorry looking at the camera, but it's supposed to be that. But Purina was registered by this lady who was pretending to be having a nickname as Purina, so she was at Purina as an official page. It was a bit complex to get it done, but we managed to reclaim it. Ferrari Spy was the nickname of Ferrari. Enzo, OMG Bacardi, was a guy pretending to be Facundo Bacardi, the founder of Bacardi long ago. And again, we managed to get it back. YouTube. So, who is posting on YouTube? Less and less. I always do this kind of pattern. YouTube. So, one. So, we're going to Facebook, everyone. Twitter, less than half to one person to YouTube.
YouTube, you mean to watch stuff on YouTube?
Watching, posting, okay, you post stuff. Okay, so it's a platform actually rather popular. It's been calculated that you can spend millions of hours watching it with the content they have now. You can, I don't know how many years I should see the updated statistic, but basically you cannot possibly live enough to see every movie or every post which is there. But still, it's a huge platform. They have to have huge service for doing this. And again, you have a lot of infringement ongoing there.
You can make also money out of it.
Yeah, that's exactly the point. I was wondering. Do you make money out of it?
My son did the one.
Think about it. Actually, we have to stop and think about it. It's an incredible environment, social media. Incredible. It has to be studied. I think for marketing is one of the most challenging on one hand and promising useful on the other hand, because it can be very damaging. I was mentioned before, it can be very effective. So, YouTube as well is a channel, but it's a free TV channel. Let's face it. You could spend a lot of money to create your TV channel or your channel, just post videos about the activities you do. You have it there, you advertise it properly, you get money out of it. So, anyway, they are very, very, I would say, responsive. Usually it takes 2 or 4 days to take website down, content down. Usually are very cautious for the approach trademarks only. They want to have a clear cut. Again, it's always difficult to strike a balance between free speech and possibility to use a trademark as opposed to infringement. So you have to really to be able to provide a clear-cut evidence. Some videos are frequently not removed as they considered parodies by the legal department. They're really strictly considering parodies, and parodies is, as you know, something that Trademark Corner is supposed to live with. And in some instances, actually, they consider this contacting the uploader directly as a good strategy. As I mentioned, to try to contact the owner of the page in Facebook, as well as advise to contact the uploader directly. Can be a fan, can be someone that can be convinced in a gentle manner to take the content down without escalating the matter to the management of YouTube. How to report infringement if you don't comply, the same system is there. You have links available easily online, and these are the two links that you can refer to for trademarks-based and copyright-based infringement. And there's some examples of interesting. By imitation in Spain, in Spanish, or Bottega Veneta, there was a page on YouTube advertising counterfeit goods, even telling in Spanish this is an imitation, a replica. Or this is a guy who was having a contract with Ferrero, as a singer, who was having, of course, a contract authorizing only Ferrero to produce the video of his singing in the 50th anniversary of Nutella. Sure enough, this video was posted by a lot of unauthorized people to work a lot to take this video down because it was infringing Mika's copyrights. Again, video surprise. This guy was selling a Kinder Surprise egg with dope inside to children in stations. People doing this kind of videos, you wouldn't believe it. We watch stuff. They say it takes time, effort, and you wouldn't believe it. This guy was, taking a formal camera, official camera like this, to do a very nicely done video selling fake, of course, Kinder eggs with drugs inside. Why do they do that? Sometimes I wonder, but they do. So we have to monitor it and take it down. Yes.
How much time does it take usually to remove infringement?
From 2 to 4 days. If you do your complaint properly, if you quote the trademarks or the copyright infringement, they will respond to the maximum was 4 days. We have good channels, so we can even do it quicker than 2 days, but the average is 2 to 4 days. Having done this for years, of course, you develop a certain relationship. You acquire Twitter as a client because you meet so much. They say, well, look, you must be good. You're bothering us so much for the client, so that's why you entrust to work with you, and therefore you have some specialized channels. If I have an emergency from a client telling me, look, I need this done now, I pick up the phone and call California at the right time zone, and it goes down in 1 hour. But that's not the rule. Usually the span time is usually 4 days. Google Plus. Oh, now who is using Google Plus? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Only location.
Only location. Okay, it's not really popular. Google is giant, so you wonder why, but it was not really catching up. Still, it's there. A lot of people are using it, and they are rather responsive to copyright complaints. And usually, Google adopts a very cautious approach to infringement. No worries. Only clear-cut violations are removed. So it's not very much popular, so it's less relevant. Yet they are really having a very strict approach. Some examples of how you can take down, again, same kind of issues with copyright. You have a very nice policy there for you, available online. Examples of infringing ongoing on Google are this ones. This was again Bottega Veneta case. I tend to be, of course, focusing on clients we assist, so I'm sorry to bother you with the same kind of clients, but I wanted to present you stories which are already solved, as opposed to cases which are pending, so these are all solved stuff. So this was, again, a case in Google Plus, in Gucci Boutique outlet. Again, you see, it really looks official. They even quote the email of the client, but it was not related to them. On Pinterest. No one? One. You're really active. Good. Pinterest, not much. Okay, Instagram is coming. Anyway, Pinterest is there. It used to be more popular some time ago. Now it's going to be down with Instagram raising. It takes more time than usual than other platforms to take it down. And you can get the assignment with usernames corresponding to trademarks, copyrights, again, provided that you have a local presence and you have another page already prepared. Never forget, please, if you do an activity on a social media, you always have some presence created by yourself or by your marketing department that you can tell the people of interest or Google or whomever transfer the page infringing one to this one because I handle it. I have a username and a password to handle it. Unless you do it, it's problematic once they say, yes, we are ready to transfer it. They say, well, oh, 1 minute, I have to create a page. And maybe you lose time in the loop and you have to start it all over again. Again, copyright infringement based on the Digital Copyright Act and as well the trademark form is here. As you see, each and every platform is always preparing the trademark. You have the platform for trademarks, for instance, you have different options. I own a trademark and or a representative, etc., etc. So you have different options. Fill the space properly, and then, if you need, clone it. Examples of Pinterest infringement of Bobby Garcia was infringing a page of Maserati with a page unrelated, but it was using the Maserati username. That's why it was important for our clients as well, because again, easy for Pinterest users to go to the Maserati username to have the official content. Or actually they don't even use it, but we got it back for them. Cacharel, similar page, not really very much developed, but again, username of interest. Again, here was a Pinterest for this kind of infringement ongoing on the Red Valentino, advertising shops, not even there. And now, Instagram. On? Anyway, okay, that's good. We should draw statistics out of this workshop, and maybe in the evaluation form, make as well a note on how many platforms, which platform do you use, because it is an easy statistic thing. You know, you can post a lot of stuff there. Very responsive, I have to say. It's basically the same ownership as Facebook. So now Mr. Mark Zuckerberg is really picking cherry the good stuff there. He's got a lot of cash to do it. So he was buying this company some time ago, and he's having a similar approach. So very responsive. And again, you have to make sure that you include the exact link if you do an infringing activity. The average here is quicker than what I seen before. So as YouTube was 2 to 4 days, is 1 to 3 days in Instagram, the same as Facebook usually. Again, allows you to verify a profile and mark it authorized the same kind of thing that you have in other platforms. Report infringement is similar to the one we seen before. You have as well the report for copyright and the report from trademarks. And these are some examples of infringing use. The Valentino shoes was good, wasn't it? And Missoni official, which was not official. And another one of Ferrari with FF, forward drives there. Official Ferrari, that was spelling wrong. But, you know, it was getting a lot of people, 67,000. That's how bad the situation can be. And of course, everyone in this platform is giving information, is providing the data. And the owner of the fake page sells. But, so let's not forget the rationale of all these funny pages. It's not only that you're a fan and you're enjoying it, you're getting data of the people, like us, tricked into believing that you are the company I'm looking for. So that's why it's dangerous. So that's why you can do it. And they replied, Catriona, I love this first name, was answering us and taking it down. Or Maserati page as well, with the username Maserati, was reclaimed and pointed to the right page. Gucci Mexico on Instagram was not in Mexico, was somewhere else. Actually. But again, as you see, here they have a link to a page in which they sell counterfeit stuff. So not only they profile you, but they trick you into a web page. So you believe, okay, that's the official page on Instagram. Look, is the official page of Goods in Mexico, should be the official page of Goods in Mexico. Selling stuff in Mexico. It was not. Nutella Brazil, likewise. Nice. At this time, it's good for the coffee. And Nutella Brazil was going here. And I think we can either take the coffee now or still cover the smartphone and tablet application, as you prefer. Should we go for a smartphone tablet application still? Are you still fresh to follow some 10 slides? Good. So let's do this. So we'll, because the break was supposed to be 3, but we started it half an hour later. So yeah, so let's do it in between. So let's cover how to use a smartphone tablet application. So we said social media, dangerous. Profile, linking you to fake pages. What about smartphone and tablet applications? When you download a smartphone or tablet application on your mobile, do you pay attention to the kind of authorization you give to the author of this app? I know you do. But if you want badly, you don't care. You say, yeah. I'm going to check all your data. I have access to your section of the pictures. I'm going to see where you are. I don't think they tell your mom sometimes that kind of information. Don't you? But you do tell to a developer an app that you like. Wow, that sounds good. Oops, sorry. I was looking at an app. Actually, I had a fantastic app to monitor my flight. There was an alarm going on when he was speaking, but nobody's showing up, so I have a video camera. But it's good. I have an app doing this. Of course, it's a third-party app from the producer of the alarm, but I can access to my home and see what's going on. That's why I'm keeping it there. Yet I have to give a lot of authorization to see this, but I have to my own house, so it's fine. Think about what you tell the developers. Google. Oh, not going too far away. There's a fantastic app by Google, Google Maps. Download it. You can basically tell the people where you are, what you do, what you're looking at. So, watch out. The long story short is it's important to pay attention to what you say yes to. Maybe you can tick that you don't really want them to know where you are, and you can exclude that part and still be authorized to download it sometimes. Sometimes they are very strict, unless you authorize them to sell everything, especially Android environment. Android, so the different platforms. So 4 platforms are the ones which I'm dealing with. First one is basically the one ongoing on iPhone. The iPhone is a bit better, it's a bit closed down if you buy it on iTunes, which is then fine. Usually, as I mentioned in the social media, it's appropriate to send a letter to the developer of application. Typically, they got approved by Apple, so they have reliable data on the developer section. You get in touch with them. If they don't care, as they often don't do, you then escalate the matter to Apple. So you file a complaint, you write it to the copyright agent Apple Inc., and you do reply. In essence, they reply us often, thank you for your message. This was some time ago, but they will manage to take it down these apps, or Ferrari Cam. This is an example of iTunes. Ferrari Cam, a collection of Ferrari models, which was unrelated to Ferrari, was developed by this guy, SQ777004, and it was removed by contacting Apple. Again, examples of apps which don't even pay. Sometimes, most of the cases, are free. So why on earth they would do it? Well, they profile you and they know what you do. As simple as that. This guy was even selling the white pages in Italy data to a third-party app. Or another world, even more complex, is a world of Android. Android users are, of course, more subject to infringements. It's a fantastic operating system, developed by Google, but it's not only channeled via iTunes. So you can buy Android-based apps from different providers. And this makes even more complex the reclaiming activities and easier the infringing. So watch out. There's one form at Google for finding out if the app was authorized or not. And you can have a legal removal request activated via Google themselves. I would still consider though a direct contact with the developer, but sometimes it's more difficult to get in touch with. Android is working on the same principles. You get in touch with the removals at google.com, and they reply to us for taking down a lot of apps like this one. Isn't it? Well done. This one in particular. All of them look really official. Wouldn't you desperately want to have those on your mobile to check the latest offers, get special discounts? If you're finding Gucci, why not? Yet you get a lot of information in the hands of these people. Again, you do it down, you do the takedown procedure, and they do take it down for you, or examples of replies, and other examples on Android market applications, Scuderia Ferrari, flag BlackBerry widget, and you sell stuff as well via these apps. Fake, of course. Even vodka, and the Vodka Stolichna, one of my clients, had this fantastic app, Appmania, a Russian vodka, sold on a platform. You wouldn't believe it that some old people like me are using BlackBerry, but I still love it as a working tool. And they do have as well a notice, they have as well legal terms, and they have as well infringing activities ongoing. This was an app on the Nespresso coffee selector, which was not related to Nestle at all. Last but not least, Windows Phone. Who is using a Windows Phone? Neither do I. I go to all the platforms. I'm going to buy one because I have to, because I bought one from my associates just 2 days ago. I didn't even get started working, but yeah, it's coming. Windows 10 is going to be better, so you will see more of those, I think, in the future. Again, you have a way to file a complaint via the Microsoft form at this link. And you can email the same kind of issues via bplegal@Microsoft. But again, first do the platform procedure, then email them. There's an example of a Windows Phone application that we are finding, so it's not fake. It is that history for Ferrari and Ferrari Magazine were two applications were taken down together with Ferrari Paint and App Ferrari on Windows environment. The response is rather quick. They reply, they see my data in the content information, and the procedure is rather smooth because you sort of prepare the form with all the data relevant, and they usually reply to you once you've done this. And of course, you have to explain why you're asking this, and as well, maybe you cannot read it, but mention the trademarks you have to as a ground to take this down. Windows Phone out there, and the legal Microsoft to reply. Thank you for your email. This is the recent stuff of October last year, and they're removing the procedure of Ferrari. So, as it is 3:15, as scheduled with Lahab, I would propose that we take our coffee break, and I see you back here at 3:45 for the uniform distribution reports. Take a lot of coffee, because we're going to go legal. Legal. Ooh. No more pictures.